command and control infrastructure that allows red teamers to execute system commands on compromised hosts through Microsoft Teams. This is Convo C2, a tool and project recently released, I think about November of 2024, that is literally a command and control channel over Microsoft Teams. It's actually really interesting how this works. It infiltrates data into hidden span tags in Microsoft Teams and exfiltrates command outputs in adaptive card images URLs, triggering out-of-bound requests to a command and control server. This means there is no direct communication between the victim and the attacker, and the victim only sends messages or HTTP requests to Microsoft, online Microsoft servers, to handle Microsoft Teams. So antivirus and other EDR or security solutions might not catch this thing. Detection is hard to do when you don't always look into legitimate, usually real and trusted Microsoft services, especially Microsoft Teams. So in this video, I want to see if I can get Convo C2 set up and running in a little demo environment. It's all just for educational purposes only. You know the drill. Hey, just for our learning. Credit where credit is due. This is by no means my code or my project. This is all put together by Centurion, CXNTURI0N, I believe Fabio Sinicolo. Sweet stuff. He calls himself a average offensive security enthusiast. Well, let's go see what Convo C2 can do. They include a little demo video inside of the GitHub repository, and I'll include a link for that in the video description, and they showcase this working against the new version of Microsoft Teams running on Windows 11 and the old version of Microsoft Teams, even running on Windows 10. For what they showcase, the attacker is not in the same organization or Microsoft Teams org as the victim. For the showcase that I'll do, just to keep it easy, they will all be in the same org, but this should work outside. We'll see this all in action when we get to play with it, but they do add a note here for the video in case you watch it. In the first case, the victim already accepted the chat with the external attacker. But in a real scenario where the attacker starts the chat with the victim for the very first time, the victim needs to confirm and allow and accept the chat. Apparently, this can easily be bypassed though. He includes a link to another sweet resource. Looks like this is an even earlier article from December of 2022, but they're discussing how you can use Microsoft Teams for initial access, gaining an entry point into a victim org. I won't drag us through this, but I did want to show it to you because you could very well find a couple bells, switches, toggles, and things to use to maybe avoid that initial, oh, accept this chat message. Once again, I'll include a link in the video description if this is interesting or worthwhile for you. This is a long article, goodness gracious, but they get into a lot of cool stuff. Ultimately ending in a spear phishing attack through Microsoft Teams. Nice. The initial confirmation to accept a chat isn't a problem anyway. Because the messages are being cached in the log file regardless, the commands are received and executed if you have an agent running on that affected host, even if the victim has not visualized or accepted the chat. Cool. So now let's figure out the usage and try and get this up and running. Of course, we need a server to act as our command and control instance. Very likely this should run on Linux. Looks like there's a wget and a tar command to extract it and then ultimately run it. And then it, of course, requires an agent. This being the implant, this being the thing that lives on the target victim computer to parse, extract, and then ultimately execute commands that are sent over Microsoft Teams. This means that it's finding different commands included, just hidden and tucked away, using some HTML magic to hide it in ARIA label span tags, and it's going to end up ripping through the Microsoft Teams message logs to be able to find them and then run them. Now we need a little bit of infrastructure and some setup to be able to get this working, so first things first, before we get Teams cruising, I do need to spin up a server, just an online, something on the internet, a box to run Linux, and host this publicly. Just to keep things easy, I've spun up a simple DigitalOcean droplet with the public IP address 137.184.125.109. We can copy, connect to that, and then get the server binary running. So as the attacker perspective, putting my hacker hat on right now, I am inside of Kali Linux. I'll hit Control-Alt-T to open up a terminal, F11 to full screen, and then I will SSH as the root user that I've spun up for that host. Paste in the IP address, we can connect. I just did super simple, stupid password authentication for the moment, but that should still let us in, and now we're connected to our temp MS Teams. Just to keep things clean, I'm going to move into a temporary directory, and I'll make a directory for Convo C2. Hang on just a second. While we were chatting about all of this awesome offensive cybersecurity work, whether it's red teaming, whether it's penetration testing, whether it's setting up post-exploitation and persistence with a command and control server just like this, let me tell you about something really awesome from the sponsor of today's video, PlexTrack. You know how tedious pen test reporting can be. Hours of copying and pasting, organizing data from multiple sources, formatting findings, it's exhausting. And the worst part? Every minute spent reporting is a minute you're not hacking. There is a better way. Meet PlexTrack. With PlexTrack, you can analyze your attack surface, aggregate all pen test and vulnerability scan data in one place, use context-based scoring to prioritize risk, leverage artificial intelligence to slash reporting time, lean on collaborative Google Doc-like features for faster quality assurance reviews, and use out-of-the-box integrations with ticketing systems like Jira to send high-impact findings for remediation. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, you can cut pen test reporting time by 75%, collaborate seamlessly with teams and stakeholders, see your findings actually get addressed fast, and show measurable risk reduction. Charles Snyder, Director of Cybersecurity at CAI, said PlexTrack is foundational for our ongoing security and risk management. PlexTrack isn't just another tool. It's the difference between drowning in reports and actually having time to hack. Use my link below to learn more and book your own personalized demo. Spend less time reporting and more time hacking. Huge thanks to PlexTrack for sponsoring this video. Just to keep things clean, I'm going to move into a temporary directory and I'll make a directory for convo-c2. And inside of that directory, let's pull it down with the commands they offer. Should be able to grab this really easy with the wget and tar to extract they provide. Back in Kali, let me paste those commands in, and with that, we should have this thing extracted, and in our current directory, convo-c2 server AMD64. Ooh, it's got a super cool ASCII art banner. Does that count as ASCII art? They're using the sweet colors and highlighting that is not a good idea. They note on the GitHub repository, the server TUI or terminal user interface has been developed using the awesome Go Bubble Tea framework from Charm and Charm Bracelet. Their stuff is incredible. With that said, this whole thing is in Golang, so if you're interested, you could actually dive into the source code, a little bit of the package definition there for how the server and agent really work that they do to get the user interface, or we could just see all the sweet stuff behind the scenes on how this is put together. Anyway, we can press Q to quit out of this, and then of course if we were to use -H, that will end up binding to any IP address that we give it, but by default it'll listen on 0.0.0.0 or every interface. Anyway, the other requirements that it says that we need, especially for our server, make sure you have a public-facing host allowing inbound HTTP traffic on port 80. So back on our DigitalOcean droplet, we should be able to just allow port 80 on the firewall. And as a quick example, let me just make a www directory. Let's try to serve a simple HTTP server with this. We'll just use Python 3's HTTP server listening on port 80. And now let's get a victim computer or a Windows host to be able to connect to this, just to make sure we've got it all working. Just to sanity check, let me open up a web browser, and then putting these side by side, let's just go straight to that IP address. We do have a directory listing, and we can see the request come through on the server side. Looking good. Now we need Microsoft Teams. So on my Windows host, let me try to just simply run Teams, and I'll need to log into a developer account that I've set up with the M365 developer program back when they had that in action. I do need to set up the Microsoft Teams for work and not the personal one, so let me get that installed. I'll log in with the developer account. Got to roll through two-factor real quick. Approve, sign in. I think we're good. Okay, I think now we've got Teams cooking up. Now, I think over in the team section of Teams, we could follow through with the rest of the steps in the repository. So getting back to the requirements section, to get it working, you'll need a few things set up. Create a Teams channel with a workflow incoming webhook. This is the place where the adaptive cards containing the output will be received. It's important to keep a browser window with this channel open while using the server. Otherwise, the server will not receive messages from the agents. All right, they walk through setting this up when we create a Teams channel with a workflow incoming webhook. So first of all, you need to create a Teams channel, which we can do over there. Right-click on the three dots and then click on Workflows, and then in the search bar type Webhook and click on Post to a channel when webhook request is received. Continue with the default settings and grab that URL. Okay, So back on Windows in Microsoft Teams, let's try to create a new team is what they had highlighted there. And we can call that like Convo C2. Name the first channel can be Convo C2. Let's click create. Excellent. Now let's get out of there. We don't need to add any members. I just want to go hang out with Convo C2. Now we will create a webhook. Actually, it should be a workflow. So let me move my face out of the way. You can see that button there, and we'll go ahead and create a webhook. Search for this, select. This takes a little bit of time to get cruising, but I think once it's all done, we can just click next. This page is a little slow, but once we add workflow, I think we're good. Okay, yeah, edit successfully, and now we have a link we can copy. Let me just take note of that over on the Kali Linux side. And then we need to do some extra magic. Fetch IDs and auth tokens. Start by looking for the victim. Well, let's log into Teams on our Kali box. Is it teams.microsoft.com? Yeah. So now I am logged in on Kali Linux with the account that I'll be using as the Convo C2 sort of backend and server side, right? I'm gonna hop back to Windows and I'm actually gonna log out on this side. So that way we could use another victim account, and then it's a little bit more realistic. Let's use Adele. I added her to the license, so she should be able to log in just fine. She's added to the license trial business standard thing, whatever, so that way she can get into Microsoft Teams. Okay, now Adele is in action. Let's hop back to the Kali Linux side, and we should be able to search for Adele. There she is. Now, I think we're moving on to the next step. We have our channel all put together. We have the webhook created. Now we need to go find, after we found Adele, our victim, selecting the victim account with the web proxy intercepting the requests, you can send a dummy message. Say the two IDs present in the post request, and then drop the request. The auth token will be the bearer token of the same request. Well, I guess we need Burp Suite running then, don't we? Let's get a proxy going. Burp Suite, we can create a temporary project. That's fine. The defaults are A-OK with me. That should start listening with a SOCKS proxy on localhost 8080, I believe. This is an old version, but I'm okay with that. I think if I am taking a look at our proxy settings, yep, that is listening as it should. Let's go ahead and set the Firefox and browser settings to access that. I'm just in the network settings of Firefox. I just wanted to find the 8080 HTTP and HTTPS proxy. We can click OK there. Now, when we turn intercept on, fingers crossed, if I try and send a chat to Adele, all right, it took me a little bit, but I had to import the Burp Suite certificate so that it could access these HTTPS sites. Now I think we can get back to messaging Adele. Let's turn intercept on while we have the proxy running and then send hello to Adele. There we go. Now we can see this request, and in Burp Suite, we could try to get the one that's interesting. The README says the IDs present in the API chat service EMEAv1 threads, and then grab those and drop the request. I'm going to assume EMEA is different than AMER for America. We'll store all this in another Sublime Text window just so we can keep track of it. And they say to drop this request, and then the others are for teams that we could probably ignore. So with that, I think we can turn intercept off, right? Okay, so now we've sent the message to Adele from our server side one, correct? I sent a second message to Adele just to get a little bit more of the HTTP traffic so we could grab more of those identifiers in case I missed any. But now back over on the Windows side, remember, this is the victim. This would be the compromised host. So that means the implant, the agent, the beacon is still running. The command and control service should actually be on that host. That means this is post-exploitation and command and control, but there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see if we can get our hands on the C2 agent and run it on this victim. Now, inside of the terminal on the Windows host, let me actually make a directory for Convo C2 so we have a place to put things. Let's hop into that directory. I'll actually open up Explorer so I can just drop in the agent executable file. There it is. Looking good. Now we should be able to run this with all the invocation arguments that they've provided. We could actually just / this and see all the help information. Looks like we need the server URL. And I do want to take a quick peek at their demo video so we can see how they actually invoke it. So they use TAC W to specify the webhook URL that we got, TAC T0 probably for like a message time, TAC S to specify the server, and TAC V for verbose. So I think we can do that. Let's grab the webhook URL that we saved. We will run that with tac W, supplying that argument. We'll use tac T0 as they did, and then tac S for our server. How does this look? Firing it up, waiting for commands. Oh, it got it. It got it. Okay, now they're connected, but now we need to be able to do things. Like we need to essentially execute commands, but we need to give it the other arguments that we just extracted out of Burp Suite, right? So token update needs to run, and you tell it the authorization token. So we want to provide this bearer. Let's provide that there. Enter. And I think I'm still missing the IDs for the attacker ID and the victim ID. So I'm going to do Burp Suite once again. Sorry. I can just go find it in my history. Should be here. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so this is me and this is them. So let's get those values. Then we want URL generate given the attacker ID and the victim ID. Does that work? Got chat URL. Please check its validity with check auth. Can I do check auth? You are authenticated. Type CMD for launching a sudo shell. Ooh! All right, so I've been sending a couple other messages to make sure I got all the values right. But now if I were to type in CMD, I should be able to send a hello. Enter. But it needs commands in there? I don't want to. Well, I just wanted to send one message to start. How about hello at who am I? Hello? Will you get a command to run back? Oh, there it is. It got it. Let me do hello at ipconfig. Send another hello. Takes a little bit of time. There it is. Command and control over Microsoft Teams. We can do this as much as we want, right? But I mean, we can dir the users folder, see if that comes through. And we could send another message other than hello. Like obviously Adele would be messaging, be like, hey, John, how is it going, Adele? At Dell C Windows System 32, you know? Oh, it ran the old command. Does it not like other spaces in there? We could mess with it a little bit more. Okay, yeah, dir will get us there. What if we dir above? Tell me more at dir space ... Can we climb up a directory? Or the space is getting in the way? Oh no, we can. Maybe it was the backslashes that got weird. Well, this is super cool. It took a little bit of setup just because I don't normally have Teams running in my own environment here. And bear in mind, I'm using the setup where the attacker and the victim are in the exact same organization. But Microsoft Teams, you could get a message from anyone, so you don't even have to be in the same org. Granted, this relies on the implant, the tool, the client, and agent running on the affected victim host, but for post-exploitation, for persistence, this is pretty slick. With all that said, this is Centurion's work. All credit, kudos goes to him. Big props, phenomenal stuff. Convo C2, literally a C2 server via Microsoft Teams. I'll include the repo and the link in the video description if you'd like to take a look at it. You can tinker, tweak, and mess with some of the code. It is all in Golang, so pretty easy to read, but again, I'll have that all available for you below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. And please do all those YouTube algorithm things. Like, comment, subscribe, and please do give some love to our sponsors. Link in the video description, and I will see you in the next video.